Yes, my cochlear implant is able to connect to my phone through Bluetooth. I can deal with phone calls, listen to music, watch Netflix, and anything else. The sound is connected directly to my cochlear implant, meaning no matter how loud I listen to something, the person beside me can't hear it.
For my hearing aid, I own a Compilot. A Compilot allows my hearing aid to connect to any device that has Bluetooth.
Hearing aids amplify the volume of certain frequencies depending on their hearing loss so that the wearer can hear better or the closest way a hearing person hears.
In order for them to hear properly again, the hearing aids will be programmed to the different ranges and sounds so that it matches with the specific person.
In a lot of situations, hearing aids aren't always the best fit to make up for the hearing loss, but can bring the individual to the closest possible hearing level as data programs want.
The ear consists of the eardrum, three tiny bones in the middle ear, and the cochlea. The cochlear implant sits in my ear with a coil that is magnetic. I had to get an internal processor that has a magnet and a very thin wire. The magnet sits on the outside of the skull while the wire is fed throughout the cochlea. The internal processor skips the eardrum and the bones in the middle ear because the magnet and wire is doing the job for those components of the ear. The wire is acting as auditory nerve hairs, which is the part that doesn't work for me, by sending nerve impulses that get sent to the brain.
The fact that our hearing aids can die on their own, they need to be holding on to batteries to make sure when they do die, active during the day. These batteries allow us to make sure that our hearing aids remain on. So once we forget to bring batteries and our hearing aids die, it can become very frustrating because we can't hear you guys. Another challenge would be where the hearing aid or cochlear implant, where they would bring in the sound. Sometimes that place, when it's touched or something scratching on it, there would be a really loud and noisy sound that would go through your hearing aid, making it really difficult to hear your friends or anybody who's talking to you. That could also be incredibly frustrating.
Some other challenges in the day are that if someone who's speaking has their back to you, you have to rely only on your hearing, so you can't lip read anymore. And at the end of the day, you don't realize you get so exhausted from just putting extra energy into listening, and by the end of the day, you're just entirely exhausted, and it's more tiring now with the mask COVID. Class, you have to focus a lot on the listening part as much as the word part. So if you're taking notes and listening, it can be difficult, but it is doable. You have to remember to take a lot of good care of them, and then there's this box that's called a dry aid where you put your hearing aids in them so you can dry out all the moisture or the water that can accumulate in them. And if you forget to put them in there, then they probably might not work the next day. So that's a problem.
The term deaf means complete silence, no hearing at all. So no, a deaf person would not be able to wear hearing aids.
Hearing aids amplify the sound based on the level of hearing, while cochlear implants
regenerate sound and create frequencies and sounds for you because the auditory nerve hairs in the cochlea are not there. They would have a higher chance of success with the cochlear implant. The cochlear implant consists of a magnet and the body that hooks around the ear. You might even think that it's heavy just looking at it, but thankfully the cochlear implant has slowly gotten lighter over time. However, I'm used to it now, so it's just like wearing glasses. I barely notice that they're on.
If the mold of the hearing aids are shaped accordingly to your ear, fit well, and are made of the comfortable material that works for you, then it doesn't hurt or isn't really uncomfortable, but it also depends on how long and how used you are to wearing them.
I got my implants when I was really young. I grew up with hearing family members, so I didn't learn sign language. However, when I was in middle school, I decided that I would try to teach myself sign language by watching videos online. Later, in grade 9, I took an intro sign language course online, which led to a second course. It only took me a year to complete both courses, but that's because I had prior knowledge.